Jai Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Gurudev ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Kishore Das Babaji Mahārāja ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se Koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gora Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Sarva Abhishtabhadatta Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki Jai Jai Shri Krishna Arjuna ki Jai Jai Shri Srila Mokshara Akarashi Titi ki Jai Jai Śrīla Bhakti Kusum Shaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Tadir Shubha Tirobhav Titi ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranams. I see there's only one person watching so far. Dandavat Pranams and Kishore Prabhu. Oh, what is the password code? Is it not letting you on to Zoom? That's strange. Oh man. Okay. Let me see if I can. I'm just looking in security. Weird. Okay, I'll give you the code. Just give me 1 second. Let me open this up. It's right here, actually. Oh, that's why nobody joined, because there is a passcode. Okay. Okay, I'll post it in the countdown group also. All right, there you go. I just sent it in the WhatsApp group. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So we are now reading from, it says Raise of the Harmonist, Summer Edition 2002, article by my Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, called Gītopanishade Atma Nivedan. That's self-surrender in the Bhagavad-gītā. I haven't read this article in a very long time. I can't even remember everything that's there, but yeah, we'll read it together. All right, so I'll share my screen. And then afterwards, if it's not too late for anybody, then maybe we could read the synopsis of Bhagavad-gītā in the beginning of my Gurudev's edition of Bhagavad-gītā. He gives like a brief synopsis of each chapter. And Also, maybe there's something nice in the introduction to Bhagavad-gītā by Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Gosvāmī Mahārāja. 1 second, there's some one, and I'm the only person here right now. 1 second. Hare Krishna. ও সুবল এখন চলে গেছে, ও ওখানে আছে। হ্যাঁ, দেখে দিন। Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Jumna Prabhu and Mantramurti Mataji and Banksiwala Prabhu. Haribo. Oops. Let me get this. Okay. Just sharing my screen and then we'll start. Okay. Shri Gita Upanishad Atmani Vedan. Self-surrender in Bhagavad-gītā by Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Okay. Oh wait, what's okay. Arya Rishis have glorified Srimad Bhagavad-gītā as Upanishad Chudamani, the crest jewel of all the Upanishads. In comparison to other Upanishads, Sri Gita specifically establishes Bhagavan's Lila Mayatva. That's Bhagavan's being endowed with transcendental sweet pastimes. He's Lilamoy. Also, in the verses that sing the glories of Gita, the Gita Mahatma, it has been described as the essence of all Upanishads. There's this famous verse, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopalanandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat. That's from the Gita Mahatma, verse 6. This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad-gītā, the essence of all Upanishads, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, Gopalanandana, he is milking this cow. Arjuna is like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad-gītā. Beautiful verse, huh? The speaker of Gita, which is part of Mahabharata, is Devaki Nandan, Shri Vasudev. However, in the above verse, it is said, Dogdha Gopalanandana. That is, the milkman, the speaker, is Goparaj Nandan Krishna. It is thus clearly understood that Vrajendra Nandan, Vrindavan Bihari, Shri Krishna alone, is the speaker of Shri Gita. Vrindavan Bihari Krishna? Vrajendra Nandan Krishna? Not Krishna of Dwarka? Krishna. Although he has spoken Gita in his Vasudev form, his own statements have revealed his real Rasmoy Swarup. If we look deeper into Krishna's words, what he's actually saying. Our Goswamis have indicated it in their literatures that another name of Mother Yashoda is Devaki. 1 second, I'm just... One second, I just need to, because I keep on getting these messages from Chudandi Maharaj and he's wondering why I'm not responding. Haribol, I'm just in the middle of another program right now, so as soon as I'm finished with it, I will re-listen to your message and I will respond. Okay, Haribol. And Maharaj, thank you so much for your encouragement. It means so much, but I'm in the middle of a program right now, so I'll get back to you. Haribol. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So our Goswamis have indicated in their literatures that another name for Mother Yashoda is Devaki. And Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, is indeed another name of Yashoda Putra. Although Devaki Putra Vasudeva is apparently the speaker of Sri Gita, Sri Nandanandan Krishna is the actual speaker. Okay, let's see how this is. By discussing the beginning, the conclusion, and so on of Sri Gita, it can be understood that Sri Krishna alone is the topmost worshipable, that Sri Krishna alone is the supreme absolute truth. He is the Paramadeva and the topmost worshipable reality. He is worshipped only by bhakti, and Prem Bhakti is the climax of that worship. Now we will discuss the nature and development of Atma Nivedan explained in Sri Gita. From an external point of view, the instructions of Gita are universal. It's from Karmarpan, that means offering the results of activities, up to Sharanagati, up to surrender, and Atma Nivedan, full self-surrender. Everything related to bhakti is sung there in condensed form. Okay, so Atma Nivedan, this full self-surrender, is of two kinds. There's ordinary self-surrender, common, and extraordinary or uncommon self-surrender. In the Sri Bhakti Sandarbha, Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī Pad has classified these two types of Atma Nivedan. Ordinary Atma Nivedan is bhavam vina. That means devoid of any sthāyi bhav or permanent mellow. An extraordinary Atma Nivedan is bhav vaishishtena cha. It is endowed with a specific bhav or permanent mellow. Okay, so what does it say? Tare tatma nivedanam bhavam vina bhava vaishishtena cha drishyate. That's from Bhakti Sandarbha 309 Anuched. To illustrate the first type, that is Atma Nivedan, which is ordinary, devoid of any sthāyi bhav or permanent mellow. So to illustrate that first type, Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī Pad has quoted the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-34. Martyo yada tyakta samasta karma niveditatma vichikirshito me tadamritatvam pratipadyamano mayatma bhuyaya chakalpate vai. A person who gives up all fruitive activities and offers himself entirely unto me, eagerly desiring to render service unto me, that person achieves liberation from birth and death and is indeed promoted to the status of sharing my own opulences. Okay, so that is an example of Atma Nivedan without bhav, without devoid of any permanent mellow with Krishna. To illustrate the second type, Bhav Vishishta Atma Nivedan, he has quoted the statement of Sri Rukmini Devi in this verse, Tanme bhavan kaluvrita patiranga jayam atmarpitascha bhavato travibho videhi mavira bhagama vimarshatu chaidya arad komayuvan mrigapater balimam bujaksha. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:52-39. Rukmini Devi says, therefore, my dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come swiftly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, let Shishupal, who is like a jackal stealing the property of a lion, never touch the hero's portion. Here, the word bhav means sambandha, relationship, in terms of raganuga bhakti in dasya ras, sakya ras, and so on. According to Bhakti Sandarbha verse 309, bhava vishishtena refers to four bhavs. That's dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and madhur bhav. The Atmanivedan at the lotus feet of Bhagavan, which is endowed with any one of these four bhavs, or specific relationships, is bhav yukta Atmanivedan. That's Atmanivedan endowed with bhav, with a permanent mellow with Bhagavan. And Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhur. And the Atmanivedan, which is performed at the lotus feet of Bhagavan before the awakening of any of these four bhavs, is called Bhavahin Atmanivedan. Bhava Yukta, endowed with bhav, or Bhavahin, devoid of bhav. And bhav here means the eternal mellow with Krishna, like that. The sthai bhav, Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhur. Bhavhin Atmanivedan is visible in the life of Sri Bali Maharaj. And Srila Jivapad has shown this elsewhere in his Sandarbha. Sri Bali Maharaj's Dasya is Bhavhin Dasya, devoid of any bhav or sambandha, and it is not Raganuga Dasya. The most confidential and topmost instruction of Gita, that is in chapter 8, verse 66, that is, Sarva dharmam parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja ahang tlang sarva pape bhyo mokshaishyami ma shuchaha. Completely abandoning all bodily and mental dharma, such as varna and ashram, fully surrender to me alone. I shall liberate you from all reactions to your sins. Do not grieve. The shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam beginning Martyo Yada Takta Samasta Karma, quoted by Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī as an example of Bhavhin Atmanivedan, and the shloka Sarva Dharmam Parityaja, which is the topmost instruction of Gita, convey the same meaning. Moreover, Ahang Tvang Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaishyami Ma Shucha, these last lines of this verse, is only the explanation of the words Vichikirshito me. That means desirous of doing something special. So that clearly instructs Bhavhin Atmanivedan for the common masses. Interesting. So, wow, this verse, Sarva Dhamma Pratyaja, which is the topmost, like the most prominent verse, topmost instruction of Gita, this is Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaishyami Mashucha. This is Bhavhin Atmanivedan for the common masses. Okay, that's interesting. Then why is it the topmost instruction of Bhagavad-gītā if it's Bhavhin Atmanivedan? Now we have to consider whether or not the indication or hint of Bhav Yukta Atmanivedan is given in Gita. An intelligent lover, who is the object of love for everyone, he will speak to common people in a general way about affectionate service to him. If his beloved is also present among the general people, then in the midst of his general topics, he will hint to his beloved in a hidden manner about how to please him in a special way. And there's something a lot more exciting about that when you're speaking to a group of people, but you're actually secretly speaking. There's like a code message that only this one special person in the audience will understand what you're trying to say to them. You're like, right? In Vraj, there's lots of that, where Krishna and the gopis are communicating to each other in front of the elders without anybody understanding what's going on. They have all these different signals and like that, right? So there's special. So although ordinary people would be unable to understand such hints, those who are extraordinarily dear to him would certainly be able to comprehend them. Similarly, Vidagdha Churamani, the crest jewel of intelligent lovers, Gopal Nandan Shri Krishna, while aiming at ordinary people, has given hints about extraordinary service or extraordinary Atmanivedan, that is Bhav Yukta Atmanivedan imbued with one's sthai bhav, one's permanent relationship with Krishna. So he's given hints for those who are so desirous. What to speak of karmis, of fruit of workers, and Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, devotees whose bhakti is mixed with Gyan. They cannot understand such hints. On the other hand, bhaktas who desire an extremely intimate relationship with him in Raganuga Bhav not only comprehend his hints about Bhav Yukta Atmanivedan, but they also realize his clear instructions on the topic. In the 10th canto, Sri Rukmini Devi prays to Sri Krishna in her letter. She says, Tan me bhavan kalu vrita patir angajayam. I accept you as my husband and fully dedicate myself. Atmani Vedan. I fully dedicate myself at your lotus feet. Here, Atmani Vedan is performed by possessing Kanta Bhav, a conjugal relationship in the heart. Bhav Yukta Atmani Vedan is clearly expressed in Bhagavad-gītā chapter 10, verses 9 to 10, and chapter 11, verse 44. There, Sri Bhagavan has said, and Śrīla Gosvāmī Mahārāja would quote this verse a lot, very often explain these words, Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. It says, Machchitta margata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantash chamang nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That's the 10th chapter, verse 9. Hari Bol Shubhananda Prabhu. Those whose minds are absorbed in me and whose lives are wholeheartedly devoted to my service derive great satisfaction and bliss from constantly enlightening one another about my tattva and performing kirtan of my name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. This is the next verse in Bhagavad-gītā. Upon those who perform bhajan to me with love, yearning for my eternal association, I bestow the transcendental knowledge by which they can come to me. So my Param Gurudev continues. Those whose minds and lives are devoted to me and who always meditate on me, always speak about me, and derive satisfaction in me alone, their minds feel relaxation and comfort only by thinking about me, and they are constantly desirous of perpetual union with me. I bestow upon such bhaktas buddhi yoga, that is transcendental intelligence, and knowledge by which they can attain me. Most Gita commentators, including Srila Sridhar Swamipad, explain that these two shlokas apply to common people only. However, Krishna cannot check himself from speaking the core instructions, even in the midst of speaking his general instruction. That essential instruction is to render Vishramba Seva, intimate loving service unto him. These commentators give a general explanation of the component Ramanticha and their purports to the words Tushyanticha. Thus, there remains no specific significance to the phrase Ramanticha. However, unless there is a specific meaning to these words, there would have been no reason for Krishna to use it. Srila Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur have therefore excluded the general meaning of Ramanticha, and they've only accepted its specific meaning through its verbal root, which carries in its innate meaning. Haribol Subhadra Didi. Okay, so Ram Dhatu, that is the verbal root Ram, means krida, which is sport or play. Use of the verbal root Ram not only indicates Bhav Yukta Atmani Vedan, but it indeed also indicates the topmost among all Bhav. That's Madhur Bhav Yukta Atmani Vedan. Right? Like the word Raman, Radha Raman. The word Ram, it means like amorous play. So, I think Srivas was thinking that the word romance came from the word Raman. Raman, romance. It's like very, yeah. Srila Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu has said in his commentary, Ramanti cha yuvati smita katakshadishu eva yuvanaha. Only that Atmanivedan, which is characterized by accepting Bhagavan as the object of madhur priti, that's love in the conjugal mellow. Only that is being referred to here. That kanta bhav, that conjugal relationship, has the attributes of smiles, sidelong glances, and so on. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad quotes a part of Sri Rukmini Devi's letter as an example of bhav yukta atmanivedan, which has the same meaning as the inner meaning of the Ramanticha portion of the Gita's shloka. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a similar meaning for Ramanticha. He explains that Raganuga Bhakti is expressed in these words of Bhagavan. The only satisfaction and delight of the Ananya Bhaktas is the performance of Bhakti. This is the secret. Even in the stage of sadhan, they attain satisfaction by the unobstructed performance of bhajan. While meditating on their future stage of perfection, their sadhya dasha, they experience delight. In other words, they enjoy with their Prabhu, Krishna, within their minds. In Arjuna's words, Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam aham ishamidyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyo priya priyayar hasideva sodhum. That's chapter 11, verse 44, Bhagavad-gītā. Thus, I offer my prostrated obeisances at your lotus feet. O adorable Parameshwar, I entreat you to be gracious to me. O Deva, just as a father forgives his son, a friend tolerates a friend, or a lover excuses his beloved, please forgive all my offenses. Here, the subject of Atmanivedan that is endowed with Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhur Bhavs has been clearly expressed. Tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Here, the prominent Mahajans, Srila Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu and Srila Chakravartipad, express that buddhi yoga is suggestive only of bhav yukta sadhan, that is, sadhan endowed with bhav, permanent relationship. Srila Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu states in his commentary, he says, I am swabhakti rasika. I am the enjoyer of the ras derived from the happiness of my own bhakti. This is Krishna speaking. I am swabhakti rasika. I am And I bestow upon my devotees that buddhi yoga by which they can attain me. I inspire their buddhi, their intelligence, in such a way, in such a manner that they can understand me, who am replete with unlimited qualities and majesties. Thus, they can attain me by their worship. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has said in this purport to this verse, he had said in his purport to this verse, I bestow upon them buddhi yoga. I inspire them according to their heart's tendencies. That buddhi yoga cannot be achieved by individual efforts, nor can it be obtained from anyone else. It is bestowed by me alone. And only such bhav-yukta sadhaks can receive it. This is the meaning of Krishna's words. Translated from Sri Gaudiya Patrika 2.8, year 2, issue 8. Wow, very fascinating article, huh? Tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Yeah, because Krishna is, right? Sat Chit Ananda. Krishna is Chit potency, which is knowledge of a relationship. Is Krishna alone who bestows that knowledge of my eternal relationship with Krishna. Right? And so in these instructions of Bhagavad-gītā is he gives the instructions on Atmanivedan that is imbued with their eternal relationship, the eternal sambandha with Krishna, bhav yukta. But that only comes by a deep reading of Bhagavad-gītā. And that can only be revealed to us by personalities like Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Śrīla Baladeva Jibhushan, and our Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and acharyas like that. They can reveal that, what the hidden meaning is behind Krishna's words, not just what Krishna was saying for general masses. Very, very awesome article. All right, so what time is it now? It's 9:30. Maybe if anybody needs to go now, feel totally free to go. If anybody wants to stay, I thought maybe we could read this. Let's see. There's a synopsis to all the chapters of Bhagavad-gītā. I'm not able to do a reading of Bhagavad-gītā online this time. Hopefully next year I can do it. But at least we could read the chapter summaries written by my Śrīla Gurudev. And these chapter summaries are interesting that my Gurudev wrote. There aren't really chapter summary, like he gets into all sorts of things that aren't really, yeah, it's, you'll see. How come it's not moving to the next page? What's going on? That's so weird. Let's see what happens when I click that. Okay. So contents. Okay, so chapter summary by Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Chapter 1, Sainya Darshan. That's Sainya Darshan, observing the armies. Srimad Bhagavad-gītā consists of 18 chapters, which culminate in the message of bhakti, our devotion to the Supreme Lord. From Arjuna's behavior on the battlefield, it seems that he is immersed in lamentation. Krishna explains that the eternal function of the soul has nothing to do with the function of body, dynasty, and caste, although those who falsely identify the body as the real self cannot understand this. As long as the living entity remains bound by Maya, the deluding material energy and the misidentification, as long as the living entity remains bound by Maya and misidentifies his body as his self, he is forced to undergo the miseries of lamentation, delusion, fear, and so on. It is therefore imperative that he accepts the shelter of a spiritual master who is conversant with the truth. Chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. That's yoga through distinguishing the soul from the body. Okay, and Kishore Krishna Bro, on Bhaktivedanta Memorial Library, there's something about Bhakti Kusum Shaman Goswami. Okay, so we could check that out. There are also some articles by him in Raise of the Harmonist. But yeah, well, I'll check that out after we finish this. Okay, so it is therefore imperative that he accepts the shelter of a spiritual master who is conversant with the truth. Now, when the living entity accepts the shelter of a bona fide guru, he realizes his own ignorant condition. He then tries to become free from the illusory traps of the deluding potency by giving up his own conceptions and respecting the instructions of the spiritual master. The bona fide guru is a seer of the truth. A devotee has pure, exclusive love for the Lord. Therefore, he is free from the 4 defects of illusion, error, imperfect senses, and deception. When a practitioner of bhakti hears instructions from the lotus mouth of the all-merciful spiritual master, he understands the difference between the soul and the material body. He also realizes the ill effects of sense enjoyment and becomes attracted to hearing the conceptions, characteristics, and glories of the sages, whose minds are fixed in transcendence. Then, by the influence of saintly association, an awareness sprouts within his heart of the need to attain conclusive knowledge of the absolute truth. Chapter 3. Karma Yoga, yoga through the path of action. When the living entity has heard Sri Krishna's instructions, he understands that karma yoga, the path of spiritual advancement where the fruit of one's pious action is offered to the Lord, consists of endeavors in service to him that are performed without selfish desire. If the heart is full of desires for sense enjoyment, accepting the garb of a renunciate is not actual renunciation, but hypocrisy, and it can never bring auspiciousness. The living entity should perform his prescribed duty as service to Bhagavan, because performing that duty for sense enjoyment produces no auspicious result. Performance of prescribed duty, such as Vedic sacrifices, can award mundane sense pleasure, but such pleasure is temporary and mixed with distress. Offering the Lord the fruit of one's actions, however, purifies the heart. It is therefore auspicious to abandon negligence of one's prescribed duty, as well as abandon sinful acts and the selfishly motivated performance of one's duty, and instead selflessly perform that duty, offering its results to Bhagavan. Chapter 4. Gyan Yoga, yoga through transcendental knowledge. The fourth chapter begins with instructions on Gyan Yoga, the path of spiritual advancement through transcendental knowledge. It first explains that one can only obtain genuine knowledge of the truth by receiving the mercy of Sri Gurudev, who has seen that truth. The process of receiving this mercy is to hear from a person in a bona fide disciplic succession. That transcendental knowledge cannot possibly be attained through mundane learning, intelligence, or knowledge. This chapter also explains that an incarnation of the Supreme Lord appears in every millennium. The birth and activities of the Lord are divine, and it is foolish and offensive to consider them mundane. One attains this knowledge of the absolute truth in the association of a self-realized spiritual master. One gradually hears from him about the unique characteristics of communion with the Lord through such knowledge, and its superior over linking with him by offering him the fruit of one's work, superiority over Nishkam Karma Yoga. A person can easily cross over the ocean of birth and death by taking shelter of authentic knowledge. The practitioner who doubts this cannot make progress. One who lacks this conclusive knowledge of the truth will become that person will become fallen and deviate from the path. He will become trapped again in the cycle of fruitive action. Karma Sannyas Yoga, yoga through renunciation of action. Haribo Vidyalala Sadidi. Upon attaining the knowledge of the truth, the practitioner becomes qualified to connect with the Supreme through the renunciation of prescribed duty. At that time, he realizes that real renunciation means to give up attachment to prescribed action and its fruits. For one whose heart is still impure, it is both proper and beneficial to adopt the practice of offering the fruit of one's work to the Lord, remaining detached from both the process and its result, rather than completely renouncing the work itself. Selflessly offering of the results of one's prescribed duty to the Lord bestows the qualification to attain the nature of Brahma, or God. And those who know God attain peace. Chapter 6. Dhyan Yoga, yoga through the path of meditation. The practitioner understands from the instructions of the spiritual master who has seen the truth that one can only meditate on the Supreme Lord when the heart has been purified. A genuine mystic, a yogi, a renunciate, is devoid of mundane desire because no one can attain perfection in yoga as long as one still has desires for material enjoyment. One still desires material enjoyment. It is necessary to regulate eating and recreational activities to attain perfection in yoga. This perfection means, 1, seeing the Supreme Lord as the indwelling witness in the hearts of all living entities, and 2, realizing that all living entities exist only due to the support and shelter of the Lord. It is also clearly stated in this chapter that a devotee of the Lord is superior to a fruitive worker, an empiric philosopher, and a mystic. Chapter 7, Vigyan Yoga. That is yoga through realization of transcendental knowledge. Constant study of these instructions leads one to the firm understanding and realization that Bhagavan Sri Krishna alone is the ultimate limit of the supreme absolute reality, and that there is no absolute reality other than him. Only by surrendering exclusively to his lotus feet can one become free from the bondage of the deluding material energy. 4 types of people have no qualification to engage in the worship of the Supreme Lord because they perform inauspicious acts. That is the foolish, the lowest among mankind, those whose nature is demoniac, and those whose knowledge is covered by illusion. So these people have no qualification to engage in the worship of the Lord. Conversely, 4 classes of people are endowed with spiritual merit and can therefore engage in worship of him: the inquisitive, the distressed, those who desire wealth, and those desirous of liberation. In this world, the devotees of the Lord are most rare. One does not attain one's eternal welfare by worshiping various demigods and goddesses. Chapter 8, Taraka Brahma Yoga, the yoga of absolute deliverance. Only those who are exclusively devoted to the Supreme Lord can know tattvas, or fundamental spiritual principles, in regard to the Lord's featureless aspect, Brahma Tattva, fruit of action, Karma Tattva, the basis of this material manifestation, Adibhuta Tattva, etc. One-pointed devotees can easily attain Krishna. That's Bhagavad-gītā 8:14. Devotees of the Supreme Lord never take rebirth. That's Gita 8:16. One can only attain him by exclusive devotion. That's Bhagavad-gītā 8:22. Chapter 9, Rajaguhya Yoga. That is yoga through the most confidential knowledge. The king of all knowledge, are the most confidential of all secrets, refers to supremely pure devotional service only. Material nature is not the original cause of the cosmic creation, because its potency to create only comes by the inspiration of the Supreme Lord. It is foolish and offensive to think that Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a human being, or that his body, composed of eternality, knowledge, and bliss, is made of 5 material elements like the body of an ordinary conditioned soul. Genuine saints engage in the worship of Sri Krishna with exclusive devotional moods, and Sri Krishna personally attends to their necessities. It is against the prescribed rules to worship different demigods, because Sri Krishna alone is the enjoyer and master of all Vedic sacrifices. The Supreme Person accepts anything that is offered with love by the pure devotee. In the last verse of this chapter, it is concluded that pure devotion is the only means to attain the Supreme Lord. Chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga. That's yoga through appreciating the opulences of the Supreme Lord. By sincerely and constantly studying this chapter, one will understand that Sri Krishna is the basis of all majesty and all potencies. The entire material universe, with all its opulences, is just 1/4 of his opulence. When one attains knowledge of the Lord's majesty, one can easily understand that everything is directly or indirectly related to him. He bestows buddhi yoga, our pure intelligence. He bestows that buddhi yoga upon his devotees so that they attain a sound understanding of tattva, that's fundamental philosophical principles. In this way, their ignorance is destroyed and they engage in worship with pure love. Now, chapter 11, Vishwarup Darshan Yoga. Yoga through beholding the Lord's universal form. This chapter reveals that the universal form of the Supreme Lord is external. His personal form is transcendental and human-like. Only devotees whose eyes are anointed with love can see the form of the Lord. The supreme enjoyer of only those people whose eyes are anointed with pure love can see the form of the Lord, the supreme enjoyer of transcendental mellows. He is only attained by the yoga of exclusive devotion. Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. Now we come to the section on Bhakti. Sure. Okay. Yoga through pure devotional service. Hare Krishna, Raj Bhuvan Yadav Ji. This chapter explains that Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has no source other than himself, is the supreme reality, and that he is the topmost object of the living entity's exclusive worship. One can easily attain him by pure devotion. Devotees who are endowed with single-pointed devotion are most dear to him. Those who adhere to the philosophy that the Supreme Lord has no features and that the living entity can become the Lord, they receive only misery. Chapter 13, Prakriti Purusha Vibhag Yoga. That is, yoga through understanding the distinctions between material nature and the enjoyer. This chapter gives deep insight into material nature and the conscious living entity. Through this discussion, the Supreme Lord bestows a lucid understanding of the absolute principles upon his surrendered devotees and thus delivers them from the ocean of the material world. When pure devotion arises in the heart, knowledge and renunciation naturally appear there as a secondary result. However, in order to strengthen one's understanding of the true nature of devotion to him, it is still necessary to deliberate upon knowledge to attain realization of it. When a devotee attains a clear understanding of absolute principles, he becomes qualified to attain prem, or pure loving devotion to the Supreme Lord. Chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhag Yoga. That is, yoga through transcending the three modes of material nature. An analytical study of this chapter leads to the understanding that this material world expands simply by the action and interaction of the three modes of material nature, that is, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Practitioners of bhakti yoga can easily cross over these three modes and finally become qualified to attain the Supreme Lord. Chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga. That is, yoga through understanding the Supreme Person. This material world extends from the lower planetary systems to the higher. Living entities are separated parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are opposed to him are bound by the results of their actions and wander in various higher and lower species of life. However, by great fortune, one may attain the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master and under his direction completely engage in the worship of Sri Krishna, knowing him alone to be the Supreme Person. The devotees' absorption in their worship makes them aware of everything. Consequently, they can easily cross over the ocean of this material world. Chapter 16. Daivasura Sampad Yoga. That is yoga through discerning divine and demoniac qualities. This chapter explains the divine and demoniac natures. The living entity who is bewildered by the external illusory potency of the Supreme Lord is controlled either by divine or demoniac qualities. When one takes shelter of a divine nature, he becomes inclined towards worship of the Supreme Lord. On the contrary, those who adopt a demoniac nature and have become averse to him go to hell. Those of a demoniac nature proselytize the theory of Mayavad, that everything is illusory, including the Supreme Lord himself. It is essential to become released from this demoniac tendency. This can be achieved by worshiping the Lord with faith in the association of pure devotees. Chapter 17. Shraddha Traya Vibhag Yoga. That is yoga through discerning the three types of faith. This chapter explains the three types of faith. According to the association he keeps and the nature acquired from his previous impressions, a person develops faith in that which is in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. When the living entity completely takes the association of pure devotees of Hari, the Supreme Lord, so when he takes the association of pure devotees, then transcendental faith appears in his heart. He can then worship the Lord, who is transcendental. Such a devotee is an actual saint. Now, the final chapter, chapter 18, Moksha Yoga, the yoga of liberation. This chapter presents the essence of the entire Gita. First, Sri Krishna is identified as the highest truth among all his transcendental manifestations. And then the most confidential instruction is given. It is explained that one can attain service to him, which is full of transcendental mellows, and his supreme abode by following these practices in sequence. 1. Surrendering to him. 2. Executing the 9 limbs of bhakti. 3. Accepting the shelter of bhav bhakti, or pure transcendental devotion. Jai Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Arjuna ki Jai. Wow. Okay, so sorry guys, I've been falling asleep throughout this whole reading. So now I thought, well, I'm just seeing Kishore. Yeah, I saw Kishore's message. He said that on Bhaktivedanta Memorial Library, there's something about Bhakti Kusum Shraman Maharaj, whose disappearance day it is today. So let's look there. I think it's bvmlu.org. Okay. Let's see what is there. Oops. Let me move this over here. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, there's Bhakti Kusum Shraman Maharaj. Just saw him. There he is. Oh, that's interesting. There's an article wearing Tulsi beads around the neck. Okay, 1 second. Let me just open this up in a Word doc. And here I see a picture of him. Never seen that picture before. It's really low res. Anyways, let's see. I hate Times New Roman. Let's make this Balaram U. Okay. Okay. Picture Bhakti Kushum Shaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja. This is a long article though, my God. I'm not sure. I don't think we could read it all. Let's just read parts of it. Okay. So Śrīla Bhakti Kusum Shaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja, the personification of the exhibition of the Bhakti Siddhantas preached by the Rupanuga Singha Guru, Shri Gauravani Vigraha Prabhupada Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. That's a very long title. Okay. Holy appearance with Jata Bhakti. In the holy day, I don't know who wrote this. Let's see, does it say at the end? No, it doesn't mention. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay. On the holy day of Sri Govardhan Puja, Śrīla Bhakti Kusum Shaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja appeared as the son of Sri Durga Charan and Srimati Yogamaya Devi in a village of Kardaha. I'm guessing, no, Karda, in the Dhaka district of the eastern part of Bengal, now Bangladesh, in 1990. Getting the remembrance of the son of Sri Nanda Maharaj due to the glazy Krishna complexion of his skin, his father named him as Kanu. By choosing Srimad Bhagavad-gītā in the Ruchi Pariksha and the inclination test ceremony, like when they put all the different things in front of a child, the money, the coins, the Bhagavad-gītā, like that. So he chose Bhagavad-gītā. So by his doing so, never mind. So by choosing Bhagavad-gītā in the Ruchi Pariksha, he showed his Jat Bhakti, his natural devotion, to become a Shuddha Bhakta. He displayed the very introduction to his Acharya Leela by enhancing the enthusiasm of favoring in devotional service. He reciprocated his mother in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam by taking part in household work like cleansing utensils and bringing water for cooking and drinking, etc. His mother was very happy and pleased with his service with affection. One day he prayed, "May I become a Shuddha Bhakta?" to his mother, on hearing her that if one becomes a pure devotee, then the entire family with 14 past generations get a chance to serve the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He was blessed with having to got the foot dust of his devotee mother, indicated by Krishna as the shelter of the world. Through many natural calamities like cyclone, flood, etc., Shri Krishna clearly indicated his devotee to be the shelter of the dying world. Being guided or led by him and learning how to take shelter of the Mahamantra from him many times, his family and his friend associates got relieved from dangerous situations. Observing his sweet and devotee-like conduct, his teacher gave him a name, Shri Krishna Kumar, who is the central jewel and very affectionate to his devotees. A devotee is very expert everywhere. With many fine letter marks in subjects like mathematics, English, etc. So he finally graduated as a medical doctor with distinction in Sanskrit and mathematics from Dhaka Mitford Medical School by Srila Bhaktivilas Parvat Maharaj, a disciple of Prabhupada Srila Saraswati Thakur. Since then, he used to visit the Madhav Goswami Maharaj in the city. The Madhav Gaudiya Math in the city. Accepted by Sri Sri Prabhupada Padma. After the completion of his graduation, he went to the Gaudiya Maths situated in Kolkata and Sri Puri Dham. Later, in 1927, he approached Sri Kunjabihari Vidyabhushan, the then secretary and administrator of the Gaudiya Math, praying for initiation from Srila Prabhupada. He gave him a hope of getting Sri Harinam initiation only. From inside, Antaryami Srila Prabhupada recognized his devotee from within and informed Kunja Babu that he is, I started falling asleep. So from inside, Antaryami Srila Prabhupada recognized his devotee from within and informed Kunja Babu that he is accepting the doctor for both the parts of initiation. In fact, Srila Prabhupada gave him Mantra Diksha first and then Sri Harinam. The order was just reversed in his case. He was named as Sri Krishna Kanti Brahmachari. The complexion like that of Krishna. After initiating, Srila Prabhupada addressed him. He said, Dr. Babu, I gave you initiation. Now what will you do? Then, Diksha Kale Shishya Kore, Atma Samarpan, Shre Kale Krishna Tare Kore Atma Sama. Shripad Krishna Kanti replied, whatever you order me, I will do. At that time in Sri Mayapur, there was no doctor. Srila Prabhupada ordered him to go to Sri Dham Mayapur and serve the devotees there by using his medical science. Srila Prabhupada gave him a room in his own bhajan kutir, the very place where he did his bhajan, where he did his shatakoti, his 100 crore nam yagya. Shri Guru Seva with Anugatya. Indeed, Sri Krishna Kanti served his guru, Sri Gaurasundar, and Sri Gandharvika Giridhariju in the Akar Mataraj and Sri Chaitanya Yogapit, Sri Yogapit, the birthplace of Sriman Mahaprabhu and Srivas Angan, the Sankirtan Rasastali, and the beloved devotees residing there throughout his mat and throughout his matvast life, staying in that very room. In 1928, he became the publication manager of the daily Nadia Prakash with Sripad Pranavananda Prabhu, later Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Mahārāja, as the editor. He often traveled with Srila Prabhupada and wrote the correspondence. In 1948, he accepted the order of Jadandi Sannyas from the then Acharya president Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Goswami Mahārāja, Kunja Babu, in the temple of union and separation of in the temple of union and separate. Okay. And he became famous as Srila Bhakti Kusum Shraman Maharaj. Soon after, he became the editor of the monthly Gaudiya magazine. In this function, and as a manager of the daily Nadia Prakash, he has written literally thousands of scholarly articles on Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Sorry, oh my God, I'm really falling asleep. I have to, okay, sorry guys, you're really patient with me. So he discovered, let's see. So in this function, as a manager of the daily Nadia Prakash, he has written literally thousands of scholarly articles on Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He discovered the Ashtutara Shata Shri, the 108 Shris of Srila Prabhupada. So that's why when we say Ashtutara Shata Shri, it goes together. There should be a hyphen. Like if we write it out, it should be connected because there's 108 Shris. You don't just say Ashtutara Shata and then the name. You have to say Ashtutara Shata Shri and then Srimad blah, 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 blah. The Pandit Sabha and Sri Dham, the Pandit Sabha and Sri Dham, he was honored with. In that Pandit Sabha in Navadip, he is honored with the title Vidya Vachaspati. He rightly followed the Acharya of the Akar Mat, Sri Chaitanya Mat, Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. After initiation, Srila Tirtha Maharaj used to send his disciples to him for their personal growth. He used to respect his sannyas guru and Acharya, Srila Tirtha Maharaj, as his guru. Accepting Acharya's order, he instructed the instructions of Srila Prabhupada to the disciples by his words, as well as by implementing them in practical life. To the day those students affectionately till the day, those students affectionately describe Śrīla Shraman Maharaj as the head of the Kunj of Shri Kunja Bihari. Also, Shri Acharya Pad was very happy giving all these responsibilities to Śrīla Shraman Maharaj. Okay, should I continue reading? Because we're only halfway through.
You can read the end.
Okay, let's read the end.
Like the last three or something.
Okay, I'll read the end. I wonder, do you know who wrote this? Must be somebody from Chaitanya Math. Yeah. Okay. The Acharya of Akar Maharaj. After the disappearance of Srila Tirtha Maharaj, Śrīla Bhakti Kusum Shraman Gosvāmī Mahārāja became the Acharya of the Akar Maharaj Sri Chaitanya Math and its affiliated branch, Gaudiya Maths, in 1976. The Vaikuntha word is unchangeable. In his Brihat Mridanga service, he was very strict to preserve the words and the phrases used by Srila Prabhupada. If somebody would request him to make any change, even by shifting the parts of a sentence, he would request him to try best such that the particular sentence remains as it is. In this way, he gave us a treatment to our disease of taking the standards from here and applying them in transcendental matter. Mepe nawar dharma, measuring the tendency with material standard. Okay, so the English is sometimes a little bit difficult to read in this. Let's go towards the ends. 1 second. Okay. Gaudiya serving temper. All those disturbances. Oh wait, I didn't read. Anyways, let's just continue. Merged into bhajan. Sometimes in his own bhajan, he was externally senseless for long, long periods. Once, on the 4th day of his keeping silence from the outside, by not speaking, not accepting any prasadam, etc., he suddenly completed the verse by chanting the last 2 lines, when a servant could not recall the same after quoting the first 2 lines. What is it? Vairagya Vidya Bhakti Yoga Shikshatameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Buddhir Yas Tamaham Prapadye. Shri Chaitanya Chandra, that's interesting. Usually it's Shri Krishna Chandra Sharira Dhari. Shri Chaitanya Chandra Sharira Dhari, maybe. Okay. Once he was found to speak with ecstasy at late night in the open ground inside the Math compound. A disciple followed and asked him about this after his completion. He told that, my Guru Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur, ordered me to deliver a lecture in front of a Mahati Sabha, a great audience. All were present, Kunja Bihari and others. Sab Parshad Srila Prabhupada, along with his dear and affectionate disciples. And he cautioned him not to disclose this to anyone. Okay. Shri Govardhan Abhinna Bhaktaraj, we're at the last 2 paragraphs, and then we'll stop. He was a resident of Sri Radhakund. Srila Prabhupada established Sri Radhakund in front of the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Later, Srila Tirtha Maharaj founded Sri Shamakund in front of the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Prabhupada. Following the Parampara, Srila Shraman Gosvāmī Maharaj discovered Sri Govardhan fulfilling the desire of his guru in the Vrajpatan, Sri Akara Maharaj, an eternal resident of Sri Radhakund. He is the eternal resident of Sri Radhakund Tata Kunja Kutir. By sending a Viraha message through letters, words, and dreams to all his affectionate disciples, he took a samadhi in his Bhajan Kutir, the very same room given by his guru, Srila Prabhupada. It's if you're at Chaitanya Math, and you go to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Bhajan Kutir, which became later on the like samadhi place of Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj. So when
against
you're doing
his desires.
Yeah, against this. Okay. And so when you're, I know it's a little bit strange, isn't it? But then when you're doing parikrama, and you get to the behind, like like behind that building, then you see his Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Gosvāmī Mahārāja Samadhi right there, like while you're doing parikrama of the building. Okay, so he merged even the birds and other residents of the Mat in his Mahaviraha. The Viraha captured the birds so much that they could not sing the entire day in Sri Vrajpatan Kunj. He made his disappearance lila in the Brahma Muhurta and the Nishant lila on the day of Mokshada Akadashi Tithi in 1986. Every Gaudiya devotee and all the Sri Dham Vasis receives his mercy in the temple of union and separation. He is sitting there in his very bhajan kutir to give his all-purifying darshan till today. All right, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. And yeah, that's interesting, wearing tulsi beads around the neck. Anyways, if anybody wants to check that out, his article about wearing tulsi beads, and if they want to read the middle part of this article, you just go to bvmlu.org and you'll see the Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna, this link there. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for reading with me and putting up with my falling asleep today all throughout the Chaitanya Bhagavad. Yes, Prabhu? Yes.
Will you please share?
It's cutting out, Prabhu. Could you say that again?
Will you please share the link, what you just mentioned about the tulsi beads?
Yes. I'll share the link here. I'm putting it right here in the chat. I'll put it in the chat on YouTube also. 1 second. Let me just find this so that everybody with me here. Where is it? There. Now the link should be on YouTube and Facebook also if anybody wants to read about wearing Kanti Mala. All right. Yeah, today I think I mentioned before, I went to sleep at past 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I woke up before Mangalarti and took bath and all that, and so I'm just like I've been a bit like kind of in a dream state right now. But yeah, I hope everybody here has a wonderful Mokshada Akadashi, and if you're able to read all of Bhagavad-gītā, or at least some parts of Bhagavad-gītā, and yeah, Jai Ho. All right. Kishore, would you like to do Jai?
Kirtan.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Jai Subrakash Shikur Gauranga Ganhar Vika Gidit Hari Radha Vinod Vihari Radha Nainath Radhaman Vihari Radhamarva Shishi Mahaprabhu Radhakunj Vihari Jai Ki Jai Sri Govinda Govinath Maran Mahan Jai Ki Jai Jai Nityalena Pravishram Vishnu Par Brahmam Sabri Vrajagari Vryastodrashta Shishaman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalena Pravishram Vishnu Par Brahmam Sabri Vrajagari Vryastodrashta Shishaman Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Pati Pavan Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Jai Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai Jai Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Vāman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai Jai Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Trivikram Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai जय श्रील Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. जय श्रील भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय श्रील भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय श्रील भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय श्रील भाई चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज प्रपार की जय. जय श्रील भक्ति दैतमार्ग गोस्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय. जय श्रील भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव की जय. जय शिशुमान भक्ति सरान सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रपार की जय. महाभगवत श्रील गौर किशोर दास भविष्य महाशय की जय. श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय. श्रील वैष्णव सर्वम जगन्नाथ दास भविष्य महाशय की जय. श्रील मधुसूदन दास भविष्य महाराज की जय. श्रील उर्वदास उदयन दास की जय. श्रील बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय. श्रील विष्णु चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय. श्रील रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय. श्रील रामचंद्र कविराज की जय. श्रीलोचन दास ठाकुर की जय. श्रील नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय. श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय. श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय. श्री अष्ट कविराज सुरजान नित्यानंद तुरस गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत की जय. श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ सर गोस्वामी की जय. प्रेम से श्री नामचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. स्वरूप दामोदर नमानंद लोकनाथ गर्भ हरिकोट प्रसाद वृंद की जय. प्रेम से गौर कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री ईश्वर परिपार मार्गेंद्र परिपार की जय. श्री नवरीप धाम की जय. श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय. श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय. श्री गौर गदाधर की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपी गौगिर गोपीनाथ शर्वनाथ माँ श्री ब्रजमंद धाम की जय. श्री राधकुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सग्यामन श्री तुलसी भक्ति देव की जय. श्री ललिता विशाखा अरि सखी वृंद की जय. श्री रूपरति अरिमंजारी वृंद की जय. श्रीमती वृंद देव की जय. श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी कुमार देव की जय. श्री गोपेश्वर सर शिव महादेव की जय. श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय. जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमार्ग जीव की जय. श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. सर्वा विघ्न विनाशन करे भक्त विघ्न विनाश सुरेंद्र सिंह देव की जय. भक्तराज शिवलाल महाराज की जय. शिवलाल लक्ष्मण सिंह की जय. श्री चरिधाम चरि संप्रदाय चर्याचार्य की जय. श्री मध्वार मनोज विष्णु स्वामी नंबर चर्याचार्य की जय. आकन मद्रा श्री चैतन्य मार की जय. श्री गौरीमार वृंद की जय. रंतरा श्री मार भगवताम भगवदगीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय. त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन युग धर्म की जय. त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलुग तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय. श्री आनंदपुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्री समकर गौर भक्ति वृंद की जय. जय नित्यलील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शिशिमान भक्ति कुसुम शरमन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. चलो भक्ति कुसुम शरमन गोस्वामी महाराज कृपा महामहोत्सव की जय. जय श्रीमान भगवद गीता की जय. जय श्रीमान भगवद गीता की जय. जय श्रीमान भगवद गीता शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की जय. श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन की जय. All the hidden things in Bhagavad Gita की जय. हिताय गौर परमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. बोलो जय जय श्री राधे श्याम. ओम वृंदाई तुलसी देवी प्रिय केशवश्च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदेवी सत्यविदाय नमो नमः. वंजाकल्पतरुवश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यो पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हिताय गौर परमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Or who are the deities in that book behind you?
Wait, you mean up here?
The yellow book, the yellow orange book. Okay, it looks like maybe.
Oh, the book. I don't actually know. Yeah, here. Sorry, this is from Devananda Gaudiya Math. So, my guess is that this is the Mahaprabhu that they take out on Navadvip Parikrama. You know, like that they carry on the palanquin. It's just my guess. And I don't know this Mahaprabhu though, because that doesn't look like Devananda Gaudiya Math Mahaprabhu. Maybe it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Cause this is a Devananda Gaudiya Math edition of Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right. So, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you for joining this program. Shubhananda Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, and everybody on YouTube and Facebook. Banksiwala Prabhu, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Vidyalala Sadiri, Raj Bhuvan Yadav Ji, and everybody else. Ganga Mataji, Harivol. see you all tomorrow if you'd like to join our reading of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Mahaprabhu will meet with Advaita Acharya after he's finally manifested himself. So, all right, Dandavat Pranams. Oh, and just one other thing. I'm not sure if any of you are connected to my YouTube channel. I have two YouTube channels. I have one, my personal one, where I do the daily readings, but then I have another one called Vine of Devotion, and I just put something up there, an announcement about a writing program there that I'm going to be starting on Śrīla Saraswati Thakur's disappearance day on 31st December. I'm going to be writing every day for half an hour every day. But you could also do any other meditative practice. You could read, you can memorize shlokas, you can do anything you like. It'll be like a meetup thing to keep each other accountable so that we can be consistent in following whatever practice, whatever thing that we want to do. So if anybody is interested in that, you could also find it on vineofdevotion.com. I wrote a whole thing about it with the video there, if you're curious to know more. It'll be at 9 p.m. India time every night. So, like the opposite time from now. So, all right. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna.